Okay, welcome to lesson 55%. So lesson 55 of numbers and operations. So now that we've did all that decimal stuff, now we can move into percents. So our objective, our vocabulary. So what I really want to go over, and people don't often forget, per, the word means divide. Anytime you see the word per, think divide. And then cent, think about it. Cent is a word that means 100. There are 100 pennies that make $1. So we dealt with ratios before, or maybe it's coming up in the future. So write 7/10 as a percent. So 7/10. We know we need to get to 100. So how do we get there? And then 70 over 1,000. How do we get there? So think about it. 7 over 10 times 10 over 10 will get us 70 over 100. So 70 over 100 means 70%. 70 divided by 100. 70 out of 1,000. Whenever you have zeros in numbers, you can just cross off the zeros. And look, we have 7 over 100, which equals 7%. And that's how you change a fraction into a percentage. You make sure it's over 100. The top number is 100. Okay, let's look at it. Serena took a test that had 25 questions, which is our total. She got 18 correct. What percent of her answers were correct? Well, you need the part out of the whole. And that's all the fraction is a part out of a whole. So now that we have 18/25ths, how do we make this a percentage? Well, we have to multiply. And how many quarters in $1? 4. So we multiply by 4 over 4, and we get 100 on the bottom. And then 4/18s become, 4 times 8 is 32, 372. So 18 out of 25 is 72%. Rename 65% as a ratio in simplest form. So a ratio, we know, is a fraction of units. So 65% per means divide. Cent means 100. And now we see that this ends in 5 and this ends in 0. So we can divide by 5 over 5. 100 divided by 5 is 20. And then 5 goes into 6 once. 1, 15, 3. 13 times. So this is helpful to know if you ever get quizzes or tests or work back and the teacher puts 13 out of 20. You know that that's 65%. And how do you know that? Well, 65 divided by 100 is 0.65. And I did that on the previous page. So this is the end of our examples. Meet me at the end of the video for a recap. Thank you. Okay, right as a percent. 87 over 1,000. All right, here's the problem with this one. You're going to have to divide by 10. And when we divide by 10 with decimals, we just move the decimal over one spot. So now we're over 100. So we got 8.7%. Three out of 20 people in the park ride bikes. What percentage of people ride bikes? 3 out of 20. Well, what we're going to have to do is make 20 100 times 5 over 5. There is another way to do this, and we'll talk about this later, but the easiest way to make ratios percentages is just to make the bottom 100, and then that way it's the easiest way to see. In our last problem, rename 135% as a ratio in simplest form. So you can take 135 divided by 100. We're going to reduce the fraction by dividing by 5 over 5. 5 goes into 13 twice. 35/27 over 25. The number on top is bigger, so divide by 25. It goes 27 divided by 25 goes once with 2 left over. We can't reduce that fraction anymore. So that is renaming 135% as a ratio in simplest form. So this is the end of the intro to percents. I just did the basics. I want you to see the easiest way to make fractions percents is just make sure that the bottom is 100. And there you go. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe and keep watching.